Howdy folks, thanks for stopping by the channel. In today's video, I'm going to try to help you understand how to break down a reference track, how to listen to something that your clients are asking you to deliver, how to critically listen and analyze a track in the most productive way so that you can then emulate that, copy that, steal that, procure that, and create music for your clients. They're telling you what they want it to sound like. You need to put the time in to match those requirements. Don't send them what you think will fit. Analyze what they sent you, and then do your best to mimic the various pieces and aspects of that. So before I start, I guess I should show the shirt. This is old school. Never forget. Never forget. I'm old enough to know what all three of those things are. But I digress. So I've got a little notepad on the left here. I've got an audio track. So I guess the first step, the prerequisites, number one, I suggest you listen to this video wearing headphones. Number two, you got to know how to get audio into your DAW. So let's just say that you've been sent a playlist from Spotify or a YouTube link. There are many different tools out there that will let you scrub or grab audio. I'm a Mac user. I'm a fan of Rogue Amoeba. They've got great products, and I use one of their applications called Audio Hijack. I think it's a paid-for application I bought because it's really good at what it does. There's other tools and plugins, probably free stuff out there I don't even know about anymore, but you can capture audio. Doesn't matter what format, MP3, WAV, AIFF, etc. But capture the full-length reference if you can, or at least the first couple of minutes of that reference track in an audio file somewhere on your desktop, and then drag that into your DAW. And then what you want to do is figure out the tempo of that track. Hopefully it's been synced up to a click track when they recorded it. There's different ways to do that. I've got it on an application on my phone called Tempo. And you can sit there and tap and get close. A little tip, very often in the music industry today, tempos are even numbers or divisible by 5. It's 100, it's 105, or it's 85. That's not always the case, but a lot of times composers just drop in 120, 140, 80, whatever it's going to be. But tap the tempo, and you can drag the slider on your metronome and your DAW and kind of line up the beats. Eventually, you'll figure it out. There's probably tools out there that will tell you the tempo as well, and websites as well. But the way I've been doing it for years is just doing it manually. So get the audio, extract it, drag it into your DAW, and then sync up the tempo, label the track, and now you've got something eventually that looks like this. And what I'm using for this video is one of my own tracks that's not been pitched to libraries yet. So I've got the actual complete project that I'll share with you once we get past the analysis here. But this is what your DAW should look like when you have the reference track loaded up and ready to go. And I want you to take notes. I've got a screen here, a notepad on the left, so I can write down my thoughts. Normally, I've got a notepad of some kind, stat paper, things of that sort. But for this video, I'm going to do a text edit on the left side of the screen, and that's it. So now you've got your audio in your DAW, you're ready to go, and we're going to hear this thing a lot. So let's say you've got a deadline, and it's a genre that you like, or maybe it's a genre that you're learning. This works for all those scenarios. Let's just play through it once to get an idea of what we're listening for, and then we'll start getting a little more detailed on our actions. But here's the track we're analyzing right now. Okay, I'm going to stop. I don't want to play the whole thing right now. We're going to go through it piece by piece. But now you've got an idea, and you can bounce around the DAW if you want and listen later on. Oh, different key there. We're back again. Okay, so we've got the same groove kind of going through. So if you wanted to in real time, when you're doing this for real, listen to the whole track, see what you got. But the first thing you got to do, there's multiple phases that we're dealing with. I've got them over here, level 1, level 2, level 3. So first thing you got to do is figure out your tempo, figure out what key you're in. That's going to help you eventually. You're going to listen for the instrumentation. But I think what I'm going to do is we're going to break this thing up into its musical form, or the sections. I guess I could put that first. Maybe we'll do musical form now. Now we'll just start with tempo. The tempo I already figured out. I used my tap tool, or I dragged my slider. My tempo is at 104. What key are we in? Let me add an instrument and see what we're at here. So I'm going to grab myself just a quick electric piano. Dum 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 dum. There we are. So we're in G. That's good to know. Of course, we're going to need to reference that a little later. So we are in the key of G. Key of G major. It's not minor. Minor is sad, major happy. Tempo, I said it's 104. Okay, so that's a start. And so now we are going to listen to the track and see if we can find the various sections that make up this track. So when I hear something change, I'm going to stop and make an edit point of some kind, or slice it up. Now, in general, TV sync music is made up of 4-bar or 8-bar sections. I think of bars, 4 beats to a bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. That's 2 bars. And you'll see the numbers here in the top. It's showing the bars there. We're in 4/4. It's 4 beats to measure. But we're going to slice this up and to see what the sections look like. So let's go from the beginning. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we had a nice edit point there, and a start and a restop. So I'm going to take right there, downbeat to measure 9. I'm going to just break that up. Boom. And now we're going to start the next section and see what we got. Okay, so we had a drum fill. The horns parts changed a little bit, so that sounds like a nice 8-bar section to me. Let's go on. Nothing really changing yet. Oh, look at that, another edit point. Nice stop, that's good. Edit points are important. Let's start the next section. So we got 3 8-bar sections. You probably could break it into 4-bar sections if you wanted to. But let's go on, measure 25. Yeah, another phrase right there. So we're pretty consistent. We change keys back to the original, sounds like. Yeah, it's been very consistent. 8-bar phrases, last 8 bars. Nice little button ending, no ring out. That's good. All right, so we've got 6 different 8-bar sections. Shift N to name section 1, and it numbers them. So we got 6 sections. So we've got our form. The track is a minute 50 seconds long, so it's right on, nice cue length. So let's now go back and listen critically. We've got I guess we could call this the musical form. This is not like a song with an intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. This is just 8-bar sections or even 4-bar sections. So let's now break out your handy dandy notepad or your text edit, and let's listen and think about instrumentation. What instruments are being used right now, starting from the beginning? Okay, there's a drum set going on, but it's just the bass drum and the hi-hat. And there's a funky guitar, like a wah-wah pluck guitar. Let's listen again. Okay, so I'm going to cut the section in half because we got a little bit of difference there. So the first section we got, so I'm going to go section 1 here. We got kick drum and hi-hat. And then there's a little, was it a funky guitar? Let's go back and see what we got. It's a guitar, or it's a wah clavinet. I'm going to call that a clavinet, a wah, like a Stevie Wonder clavinet. So we're going to wah clavinet. Okay, not clarinet. Don't you autocorrect me. Clavinet. And you took my wah away. Spell check. You obviously didn't go to music school. Alrighty, so we got that. That's all I hear. That's right. Oh, that's right. The first 4 bars, it was just the kick drum, hi-hat, wah, clavinet. Next 4 bars, the bass joined us. And some horns come in. So let's come back up here. So section 1, bars 1 to 4. And then we had bars 5 through 8. Add bass. Now I capitalize add because in TV cues and instrumental music, you add and remove things, or add and delete things to make sonic variety. So you don't need a lot of ingredients. You just got to add stuff, take it out. So I see that all caps is like an action item. This is going to be a script for how to write my cue. So in bars 5 to 8, we added the bass. Wait, oh, there's something else in there. Hold on. There's some bongos in there. Were they there in the first section? Let me go back and listen now. No, bongos should come in here. Hear how tiny that is? It's very subtle. You gotta know that it's there. You hear something, and the more often you listen, it's like when you watch a movie a bunch of times, you see something new each time you watch that movie. The more you listen to a track, the more you hear. So I thought it was just adding bass, but we're adding bongo bass, and we're adding bongos. Add bongos, or are they congos? I always get to forget which one's the big one. I think the bongos are the small ones. Add bongos. Okay. Okay, important point. There was an edit point there. You hear that pause right before the downbeat of measure 9 when the horns come in? Let's listen to the last 2 bars of this first section. That subtle space. Let me zoom in on this sucker here. You can actually see it. This little section right here is silent. So start on measure 8. That is what you call an edit point. So at the end of this first section, it's a 1 beat edit point. 1 beat edit point. That's important because the music supervisor or editor may not want my intro and may want to come in right on the beginning. Or they may like that little sucker and just want to do a little, how long is this? It's 18 seconds. They may want to just stop there, and it's a nice clean ending. It's a nice clean musical sounding ending, not abrupt. Okay, now let's go to section 2. Let's do this here, section 2. Section 2. All right, what do you got in section 2? Okay, I hear a lot of things going on. Let's leave that. I hear the funky guitar. Of course, the snare drum so now it's a full drum kit. So we added wah guitar. We've added the full drum kit. We're adding the snare, the backbeat, and then we got, of course, the horn melody. So, section 2, we are add snare drum, funky guitar, and horns, it's plural, melody. Let's listen again. Sounds right to me. Let's go on. Okay, so we had a little fill at the end of section 2. Is the melody slightly different in this next 8 bars? Let's go back to the beginning of section 2. Beginning of section 3. So slightly different melody. So at section 2, and we're going to have a snare fill at end. And let's see, so let's listen here. No edit point, same thing, just slight variation in melody. Okay, little jazzier riff there. How does that compare to the previous 8 bars? Ba-ba-be-da-da versus. Okay, so it's a slight melodic variation between 2 and 3. Let me do some coloring here just to make some little difference in the stuff. Just some visual. I am a visual person, so let's just do it that way. Bada bing, bada boom. So section 2 and section 3 are very similar but slightly varied. So section 2, we added snare drum here on the left, funky horns, horn melody, snare fill at end. That's bars 9 through 16. And then bar 17 through 25. We should say 24 actually, because this is 9 through 16. Bar 17. So all we had there was slight melody variation. Basically the same. Okay, so this is important. You don't want your listeners to get bored. You just want to have that slight variation. So the melodies are slightly different. Again, middle of the end of the phrase here in section 2A, we could say. Versus. Okay, let's go on to the next section. Another nice clean edit point. Just that little space there. So 1 beat edit point again. And now we're going to go to section 3. And I noticed something real quick here. Okay, cowbell caught me right away, but we also changed keys. Or change chord. This is really this is basically a 1-chord jam. So this thing has been in G forever. So it sounded like we went up a whole step. So are we in? Do we go to A? Keyboard here. Yep, we just went up a whole step. So we are in A now. And we went back to the original key. I was tapping notes. So we're going to call that section 4. We'll do that, I guess. Section 4. And we got a section 5, so let's just get that ready too. Okay, so section 3, section 4. Wait, what's that? Is that in there? That D, that guitar, is that the same thing as here? Yeah, the guitar's still there. It's just more prominent in section 4. Okay, so we're adding a cowbell. Okay, so bars 25, and then we say add cowbell on the beat. What else is changing? Come back out of section 3. And there's an edit point here. You know, it's where I'm calling both of these section 2 because they're basically the same. And then there's an edit point, so I can, let's do that. I'll rename them section 2. And since it's 2 pieces, I'm going to add a space to the name so it doesn't replicate, automatically number it again. So now this is section 3. And of course, this is all about how you interpret it, but this is just how I stay organized. Which means this is section 4 and section 5, so section 4. So back to section 3. There's that cowbell, measure 25. Anything else going on? New? Bass, snare, hi-hat. Nothing really new exciting going on. Okay. Section 4 now, we're at bar 33. Okay, notice cowbell in section 3. No cowbell in section 4. So remove cowbell. Sorry, Will Ferrell. Sometimes it happens. Section 5, bring back the cowbell. Bar 41 to 48. Nice stinger ending. Simple stinger ending on beat 4, do on the end of 3 actually. Just call it a nice simple stinger ending. No ring out. Out. I guess it's 2 words. We'll do it that way. Save that while we're at it. Come back to here. So section 5 seems a little busier. Guitars do some more stuff. The clavinet, the funky clavinet, is busy as well. Versus the beginning, let's look at this. Versus this. So now let's listen. Let's go back to the beginning when the horns first come in, because I think we got everything covered here, but I didn't say anything about the horns. How many we have, things of that sort. So back to section 2. Sounds like 2 horns. More than 1. Okay, so back to section 2. Listen to the melody still. Okay, so there's no harmony. It's not like a Chicago horn or Tower Power horn section. It's just 2 or more horns playing the same melody. So put that in there. Section 2, when the horns melody comes in, I'm going to say unison. I'll make a new line. Horns in unison means playing same melody, no harmony parts. Okay, so let's go. Let's see, how does section 2 continue here? Let's go to section 3. Okay, we got a slightly new melody as well. slight melody variation. We're still unison, no horn harmonies at all. Unusual for me, because I usually have horn harmonies. I think we got it all covered. Ah, wait. There's some harmonies there. Listen to the horns. Start with bar 45. Okay, so at the very, very end, the last half of the last section, I actually harmonized the horns. So I'm going to put that in there. Add cowbell. Horns harmony in the last 4 bars. That's, I mean, at this point, we went, you know, we're in bar 45, and that's the first time. You probably don't have to do that. But again, adding these subtle changes to make the ear recognize that it's new and not get bored, they all add up. Boom, we're done. So that is really it. Now I've got this nice little chart. You know, I got my sections here, and you might want to do things in 4-bar chunks, 8-bar chunks. This is just how I do it. It works for me. I've done it a ton. But that's how I broke it down. We talked about instrumentation. We talked about key and tempo. But you know what we could do? Now we can go back. You know, I said section level 2 was musical form. Level 1 was key, tempo, instrumentation. But then there's level 3. Mixed characteristics, panning, EQ, dynamics. Let's take a look at that for just a second. So do some separation here. So let's go to one of the fuller sections. I mean, everything's pretty much full by the time we get to section 2. So let's give it a listen. And let's listen to where in the mix the instruments are positioned, as in panning, center, left, right, C. That's why you want headphones. See if you can figure out where stuff is at. And this is kind of honestly challenging for me because I'm mostly deaf in one side of my head. So I'm going to try. You may hear things slightly differently, but let's see what I come up with. Okay, so I hear the waka chicka on the left, and then there's like this funky wah on the right. Let's try that again. On the left. That's on the right side. So funky guitar, waka chicka waka on the left, and on the right. See if you hear that. That sounds right to me. Kick is in the center, snare in the center, bass in the center. Let's go on. Okay, nothing changed in this section, so we're going to section 3. That cowbell is on the right side to me. Let's go back to our notes here. So panning, let's see. I said wah guitar, panned left, clavinet, panned right, cowbell, panned right, let's go to the next section, see what we got here. Anything new? There's something else. Is there a third funk layer? I'm not sure. There's a funky guitar, the wah-wah. There's a little clavinet plucking, but is there or is it just the clavinet getting busier? Let's go to section 5 and see what we got here. I think that's it. Cowbell to the right. The rhythm instruments are playing a little busier. Yeah, so turn it off. back to here. So it's very common when you've got a simple groove and you got multiple chordal instruments or multiple horns. The funky guitar is similar to the wah-wah as far as their sonic texture, their rhythms. So you pan one hard left, one hard right, and that kind of gives you a nice spread, which is cool. I said bass and kick and snare were all centered up. And then there's horns. So I've got at least 2 horns. And so I normally pan hard left, hard right. It's usually 3 or 4 horns. I'll put the trumpet in the center, the lead voice in the center, the other horns on the sides. So that's everything I've got on EQ. There's really not much to tell on this one. This is not like an EDM chart or a trap chart where you're doing EQ filter sweeps and swells and effects and things like that. It's a relatively dry mix. So I guess we should put that in there. So not a lot of effects, no weird EQ. Light reverb, perhaps. Let's look at the end and see if we hear any ring out here. Man, that's pretty damn dry. And this track's, I think, a couple years old, so maybe it's a year old. I might have added more reverb if I mixed it today. But there's your note. So now you've got this little recipe, you could say. And let's see how we did. I'm going to now expand this project so we can see all the tracks that are involved, and we can talk about that a little bit. And of course, this went slower because I'm trying to explain what I'm doing, etc. If you're doing this yourself and you're scribbling down on your notepad or whatever, you'll go at your own pace. It could be slower, it could be faster. Depends on how complex the genre. If you're analyzing, classical music or a really busy EDM, electronic, house track or something like that. If you're doing trap, it's super simple. This is a very simple funk track, not a lot going on. So how long it takes depends on how complex it is and how your ear is. The more often you do this, the more familiar you become with what to listen for. Panning, EQ, or effects, instrumentation, and changes. But it's just these subtle things that happen. Like, what's different here? And go back and listen. Oh, I hear this noise. What is that noise? And sometimes the struggle is identifying it, but just put your own shorthand. Weird scratchy sound, funny whistle, whatever it happens to be, but write down so that you see the change. And now you got this recipe. And then what happens is you end up with a chart that looks like this. And here's the whole track now. So let me get rid of this right here. Expand a little bit there. So I'm going to turn this one off. Let me go back to my master now. Turn my effects back on since we're not messing with the full mix anymore. So what do we got going on here? We got, how close did I get? We got a vintage wah clavinet. That's a straight stock Logic clavinet. Let's pull that open and see. Ozone really adds lag. Let me turn ozone off for a second here. I love a good clavinet. Anyway, so we got a clavinet going on, and that is, straight up center. Interesting. Yeah, this is. I've changed my work style a bit since then. I usually have things colored differently now. So, let me do that right now. So we got this, and we'll pull this down here because it's melodic. These guys are drums. They turn red. Bass is always blue. And then my melodic instruments are usually something else, like a purple. And then if I have horns, and I do, I've got 3 horns, I make them like a bronze yellow. It's indicating horns. And what's this down here? Cowbell. Okay, these are percussions. Let's bring them back up here. Let's make them both the same red. Okay, boom. See, so now I've got a more visual representation of my track, so now I can find stuff easier. See how I kind of slowed down? I had to stop my workflow because I couldn't find everything I wanted to because it wasn't color-coded. Again, my personal preference. So let's go back now and look at the analysis. We have this, melodically speaking, this wah clavinet, but it starts at the beginning with the funky guitar. And I believe, is that just let's take a look at Strawberry Evolution. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Evolution Strawberry. Love that strawberry guitar. So we got the hunky straw guitar, and I've got it panned right. And then 4 bars later, the clav comes in, and the clav I have center. Interesting. Oh, because I've got a third chordal element here that I kept left. So I put the 2 guitars opposite each other. You see that right here? And there's those congas. Congas pan left. There's my horn part. Yeah, this is very typical. So, you know, most folks don't do horns. I'm a horn player first. Everything else is secondary. So, typical horn panning for me. Like I said, trumpet is the boss of the brass section. They are the center voice, kind of like bass in the rhythm section. Your trumpet always goes center, unless you're doing some weird melodic stuff. Trumpet's in the center, and then I put the two saxes hard left and hard right. It's very subtle, but it makes a difference. And there you have it, folks. That's how I analyze a track, a reference track when I get it. You could do this with a trap track or an EDM track or a country vocal or a song, whatever. It's really about getting all the ingredients you need for your cue that your client wants. And the closer you get to what they're asking for, the more likely they're going to want to use your music. And of course, you can't do a direct copy of a track. You know, what you could do is take a reference track and try to reconstruct it. Maybe I'll do that in a different video, because one of the best ways to know how to do something is to do it, to copy it, to rebuild it. So find the kick drum, the snare drum, the guitar sounds, etc., and add those instruments to your DAW project that starts out with just the reference track at the top. So I hide this stuff here. Let's just make sure that, you know, make believe that you don't have any instruments yet. And then you go back to the beginning, and add the hi-hat, boom, chicka ching, chicka ching, chicka ching, and the kick, boom, ba-boom, boom, whatever happened, the clavinet. And add those instruments yourself, and you can actually see it. And then when you're done, you have a complete project with all the instruments. You can use that as a template and just go back and change all the melodic items. Think of it like when you buy a template online. There's lots of great templates out there. You have to change all the harmonic stuff and even the drums to make it your own. But if you take a reference and take the time to replicate that, it's a fantastic way to learn your DAW, a fantastic way to learn some basic engineering and mixing skills. And then when you're done, you've got a reference, maybe a template that you can use for future projects. And now you're starting to learn faster, work smarter, not harder, etc. There we go. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you heard, please click on the like button. It helps me out. If you want to see more of this stuff, hit the subscribe and the bell notification to let you know that I've got some new stuff out there. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see, what you'd like to learn. I'm here to help people understand how to write music for the TV and film industry, and largely focus on beginners and folks that are just starting out, learning this really, really cool profession as a great side gig. It's a great way to just, you know, enjoy the rush of having your music heard on TV for the first time. Pretty cool. If you want to make some money at this, a little more work, a lot more effort, a little more time as well, but you can be successful. Just got to work smart, and that's all I got for today. So thanks so much. Have a fantastic day.